Boom. What's up, guys? All right. Let's have a talk tonight. Let's have a discussion. And I hope, listen, this video is primarily targeted towards people who I'm splitting them up into 4 different categories, okay? But they're all underneath the same umbrella. And these are people, quite frankly, who are like either A, wanting to learn how to code because they want a better life. All right. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. We'll talk about that in a second. People who want to learn to code so they can get a better life, i.e., find some way to monetize their software engineering skill that they're trying to learn, or people who are B, kind of already doing that. Okay. And by that, I mean, like college students, people who are in like the process of learning, or people who are just starting to learn. All right. So after having over 120 different clients in developer direction, after having people before even DD was even a thing, and somebody who I'm going to talk about tonight actually just commented in the chat, before DD was even a thing, I was helping some people try to do this, right? Try to go from not knowing how to code, or it just being like an idea in their head or a thought in their head, something they wanted to do, to actually learning how to do it and then getting a job, and then also doing it myself. Okay. My situation, a little bit different because I do have a college degree, but rest assured, that really, guys, that doesn't make the biggest difference in the whole world. Okay. And we're going to talk about all that tonight. Okay. So if you are one of those people and you resonate with that, and maybe you're like, you've been doing it for a while, you've been trying to learn for quite some time, and you're starting to get really frustrated, then I'll give you guys some advice tonight, okay? And I hope that it helps, all right? So, like I told you guys, I was going to break this down into a couple different groups of people, right? There's like 4 groups of people specifically that I'm going to talk about tonight. Self-taught hustle in the house is Happy Friday with the orange emoji. Happy Friday indeed, guys. It doesn't feel like Friday to me. It feels like a Monday because I just traveled. I spent a week of vacation back at home with my family in good old New Orleans, Louisiana. Early in the house is based. Yes, I agree. Spark 55 finally catching you live once more. What up, dude? Good to see you awake at this time of the eve for you, I suppose. Ruthless Viking in the house. Good evening, gentlemen. What up, dude? Good to see you. Okay, guys. So the 4 different groups of people. All right. So the first group of people that I'm talking about, which I originally split up into 2 separate groups, like A and B, right? But there is 4 that I'm going to talk about, okay? The first one is people who like think, okay, what am I going to do to get a better job? What am I going to do to get a better life? And they're like, they see the overly glamorized, because honestly, the dev life, it is a little bit like overly glamorized in 2022. There's really not, and man, I hope I don't like upset anybody. There's really not anything like amazing about being a software engineer in 2022, because now everybody wants to do it. I saw an article the other day about how college enrollments, the number one school in colleges, like the sub school, whatever they call them these days, enrollments are in computer science department. I'm thinking to myself, like, I looked at a picture in a story from one university. I'm like, man, they had like 3,000 people for the computer science department. I was like, man, like probably only like 9 of those people are going to end up making it through. Honestly, guys, realistically speaking, and this is why, if you actually want to go into computer science, or you want to be software developer, software engineer, something in like the higher echelon of IT, because you want that kind of lifestyle, you want to be able to, you're a inquisitive person, you have the kind of engineering-esque brain, and you want to be able to make good money perpetually, almost perpetually, if you continue to learn and be able to work remote anywhere in the world, and you're that's what you want to do, and you go to school. In all honesty, getting a computer science degree is actually harder than learning how to code, and you don't really end up actually learning the things that you need to that's practical in the real world. So what you'd find out is, after you get that college degree, then you have to go and learn even more things that they didn't teach you. But anyway, the first group of people, okay, is those people that's their idea, but when they try to start learning how to code, they realize, like, hey, I don't really want to do this. This isn't really for me, and I don't really think I don't think I have the aptitude for it, or B, I just don't want to do it. Okay, And speaking of the computer science department, when I was there, pretty much every freshman class, and I went to Ole Miss, guys, the University of Mississippi, and in Mississippi at least, and in Louisiana too, compared to like the sister state, and in Bama too. Fuck you, Bama. Fuck you, Auburn. Just kidding. I would say we probably had one of the best computer science departments in like the SEC. No bias, no cap, but it was still pretty small back in the early 2010s, right? And each freshman class, we had like 100 people that would enroll, and like usually like the amount of people that actually like stayed was only like 20, 25, 30 people, which is crazy, right? And I think a lot of that's got to do with people in the first category. It's just they're like, hey, this isn't for me. It's not a very hard thing to do, but if you're someone that it's completely not your thing, then it's going to be hard for you to be able to have like the steadfast and the just the tenacity that you're going to need to force yourself to learn how to do stuff. And quite frankly, in order to learn, you have to actually code. And so it's like, it's going to be miserable for you. So those people usually quit. That's people in the first camp. Okay. We're really not going to talk about these guys a whole lot because for the most part, I think we all know like what happens, right? And they know too. Like they start in college and they enroll in computer science and they're like, hey, this isn't very like amazing or it's not for me. And they go and do something else, or they sign up for a boot camp and they're like, this isn't for me. Or they take a couple online courses. This isn't for me, right? The only advice I could give to those people, because most likely if you are one of those people, and and I'm not saying you think that it's not for you yet. Like you're one of those people that you're starting to try to do it and you're like, okay, this 100% isn't for me. Then, well, it's already too late for you, right? Like you already know what you're going to do. But if you're someone who thinks that you might be one of those people, I would suggest don't immediately go and take out student loans and pay for like a freshman semester, okay? Then you're going to have wasted 6 months of your life and probably like $20,000 in debt, okay? So then you're going to be fucked, right? Not you won't be fucked, all right? Excuse me, I shouldn't be cussing anymore. God, you won't be screwed, but you're going to be 20 grand, maybe more in debt. And the same thing goes for these like hyper expensive boot camps, because all boot camps, except for mine, are way overpriced, like 10, 15, 25, $30,000. Some guy I know took a boot camp, $30,000. And then you spent that money, and like the first week of boot camp, like you're like, okay, this isn't for me. Well, think about that. Like you're already like you either spent that money already or you're already in debt. So if you think that you might be one of those people, I would suggest before paying for anything, at least go and utilize some free resources online. Go watch some YouTube tutorials. Self-taught hustle in the comment section earlier. He's got some pretty good beginner level tutorials from start to finish. Do something that's free. Get your hands on it. Spend like 10 hours on something for free. And if by 10 hours you should be like, okay, this is either terrible for me or I don't want this at all, or maybe I can do more. Okay. And then from there, then maybe you can pay for like a couple like online courses or whatever before you decide to like investing more money in that. Okay. But I know I said I wasn't going to talk about the people in the first camp, but there you go. There's your free advice anyway. Cody Moose and the Moose says, hola. Bola Stew, my man, says, so many people I knew quit CS for math. Yep. Yeah. Not surprised, man. Not surprised. Cody Moose and Who says, thanks, taxpayers, for paying the boot camp I went to. Yes, indeed. Mine was good, but only because it was free for me. How much would it have cost if you had to pay out of pocket, Cody? Let me know. I'm interested. And I guess, I mean, if you don't want to put it in the YouTube chat, you can DM me on good old Telegram right there, boy. All right, so that's the first camp, right? And yeah, so like these people, they usually quit and they quit fast. All right. So, and rightfully so. So that second group, guys, the second group I want to talk about is these man, okay. Like nearly 30K. Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah. You see that comment, guys? So if you think that it might coding, software development, software engineering might be something that you might not be interested in, and you just have this like, hey, this is something I could possibly want to do because of the life that it can provide me, before you go ahead and spend that $30,000, at least take some time on your own to suss it out for free before you go and do that, okay? 28 some change, yeah, but still, dude, about 30. Bolasu says, I hated programming when I first started. If I didn't want to be a game designer so bad, I wouldn't have learned to like coding as I got better at it and started enjoying it. That is a good point too. A lot of people, I've noticed when they started, they're like, this isn't for me. I hate it. But the truth is, the way that they're learning and how they're learning and where they're learning from, they're not actually like building things. What I've noticed, guys, when you actually build something instead of sitting and like, memorizing things or reading, it's going to be a lot more entertaining to you. And you're going to feel better about it because you're like, hey, this is something I made. So the second group of people, guys, and I hope I don't, well, whatever. If people get offended, that's fine. I'm going to call these people like wannabe coders, and I guess we could say soy dev. We could put soy dev in this category too, except this would be the more traditional definition of soy dev, not my not my personal definition of soy dev. Hold on, guys. Oh my goodness, I had to clear my throat, gentlemen. Not my personal definition of soy dev, but we'll just call it wannabe coders, okay? So these are people who like fantasize about like living the life of like a developer, of a software engineer, but don't actually want to do the things required to achieve that. Okay, you see these people on Instagram a lot. There's a lot of people of the opposite gender of me. However, I know that there is like 1 quadrillion genders, so you guys will have to figure out which one that is. That they're like on Instagram, and it's like they got a stand-up desk like mine. They probably spent $900 on, right? They get every single brand new MacBook refresh. Oh, we got the M1. Now we got the M1 Pro. Now I got the M1 Pro Max, dog. Now I got to get the M2 because it came out, and I got to get it. It's in a MacBook Air. And then next season they're gonna release the MacBook Pro with the M2. So then they got to get that. And they're on Instagram, and they're like this, guys. This is how they be coding on Instagram. Look at me, I'm working. All right, enough of the hate. I think you guys know the kind of people I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about just the Instagram thoughties. Okay, these are people too. Like these are guys too. I had a lot of people in my college, in my college circle that were like that, and they pretty much, these are people that like copied everything and they never actually tried to do anything. And honestly, when it comes to college, like I said before, you guys know how I feel about what you actually learn in college. But that being said, these people aren't the ones who they want that lifestyle. Okay. And again, I preface this at the beginning of the stream. There's really nothing amazing about this lifestyle. I mean, at first, yeah, it's amazing, right? Especially if you've gone from something like Self-Taught Hustle has in the chat. Like you were like a barista or you were a server, and then you get like a high-paying job that's actually fulfilling because you actually get to build things and you get to be remote. You can live where you want. You can kind of work your own time. That part is nice, but more and more in 2022, that's becoming more of like a normality, okay? It's not like, some software engineers are millionaires because, they made something that was important. But if you're like, let's say you're upper echelon and you're like mid 100,000, you're making like $150,000 a year. Well, I mean, it's not like you are like an accredited, like you're an accredited like hedge fund investor, right? Like, okay, but for whatever reason, these people they hyper glamorize this, and these kind of people, okay. And listen, I'm not trying to put anybody down because if you are listening to this and you think like you're this kind of person, I'm going to give you some advice, okay? Because I think a lot of us when we're starting out, we had a little bit of this in us, okay? I know I did, but these people who like they'll buy the newest laptop and they'll spend 25, 10, 15, like Coding Boost and Who said, $30,000 for a boot camp to get some kind of like flex paper, or these people most likely, guys, these are the ones who are going to get taken advantage of by boot camps and colleges. Okay, they're going to be spending tens of thousands of dollars on boot camps, colleges, new laptops, even though the one that they have is probably perfectly fine. And they're sitting fantasize about some kind of lifestyle that they're trying to just signal off to people. Okay, they want to be one of the cool kids. If you are part of this group, and again, nothing wrong with it. If you are part of this group, I would recommend that you like snap the hell out of it. You realize like, hey, I'm just not doing anything. I'm just flexing over here, and I actually need to learn, because most likely if you are that person and you did get taken advantage of by like a college or boot camp and you're like, tens of thousands of dollars in the hole, and you're not actually making any money because you can't actually code yet and you don't actually have a job, you're probably going to run out of money pretty soon. So I would suggest that you just snap out of it and wake up, smell the roses, and tell yourself like, hey, I can't just pretend that this is something I'm doing. I have to actually go and learn and spend some time. And then you have to take this, guys, this keyboard, take this, sit down, glue yourself to the seat. Okay. Put your hands on this thing, and then you write code. You create something over and over and over again until you start to understand it. Okay. There's plenty of different ways to go about doing that, but the main point for these people in the group too is that I would suggest that you guys like wake up. Okay. Wake up, smell the roses, and get to work, Buttercup, because if not, you're going to be screwed as well. Bull Sue says, also 400 student classes would shrink to 6 people by the time we took the final. Yeah, I saw that. Call W, suss it out. Yeah, I mean that's what you guys should do. In initially, right in the beginning. Got to get used to stand-up desk from a failed startup. Then you could pick it up for $200. Yes, indeed. Josh needs super chats to code like that live stream. Hey guys, we're at how many subs are we at right now? We're at 668 subscribers. So yeah, I mean, we need 1,000 minus 668. I can't do that top of my head. Why can't I do that right now? 1,000 minus 668. We need 332 more subs. So if you guys, Kyle, spread the word, my friend. Spread the word. And then we can get to the 1K subs. We can get those super chats. Ruthless Vikings says, most people go into a profession because they saw the fantasy lifestyle of being a lawyer, an engineer, etc. in a movie. Always end up disappointed. Yeah, precisely. Like, you either have to resonate with it, okay, or you have to just say, hey, even if I don't resonate with it, I have to actually spend time in the trenches to learn. Otherwise, this whole like glamour thing, it's not going to get me anywhere. Well, it'll get me get me a hole in my pocket at least. That's where it'll get you. What about the Herman Miller chair? I would like one. I would like one of those, Kyle. Kyle was texting this morning about my chair, right? This guy, this thing's almost retired. It's about like 3.5, maybe 4 years old. Mac Studio to learn to code, right? Yes, indeed. The only time you need high-end hardware is for graphics, programming, 3D models, and even then, you don't need it. It just makes things faster. Yeah. I always recommend people are going to start out learning, like start out coding, and just Linux maxis. Don't freak out. All right, don't freak out, you Linux maxis. I always suggest, especially for people who are not like technically inclined, to just get literally the cheapest MacBook Air, the one that's $999. It's a Linux-esque environment, which is going to be easier for you to learn stuff when it comes to coding. And that thing, even the cheapest MacBook Air now that's $900 has an M2 in it. And I think it has like maybe it comes standard with 16 gigs of RAM. Either way, the thing with the M2 and the 8 gigs of RAM, I mean, you're not going to be hosting any kind of like, well, you could do that too. So never mind. Like it'll run everything perfectly fine, especially as far as like, especially learning to code. Okay, you'd be fine with that, and it'll last you for like 7 to 12 years. No need to go and buy all the fancy stuff. Culleby says, I need my RTX 4090 Ti to use word processing. Debian. God, no. Cody Moose and who says, not going to lie, if you can afford a Mac, get one. LOL. Yeah. Yeah. And these people too, Cody, they'll buy the most expensive MacBooks. Like they'll buy the maxed out 16-inch with like 64 gigs of RAM that they like. You don't need that if you're learning to code. You literally you'd be fine with just like the MacBook Air. Learning to code on Windows is painful. Yeah, it is a painful thing. It is. That's why I suggest the MacBook Air. Like it's an easy and cheap and sturdy piece of machinery. Although you might get spied on, but hey, I'm a Mac guy. I'm an Apple guy. TM. All right, so that's as far as group 2, right? So for people in group 3, the people in group 3 guys, all right, and this is probably I would say about 70% of 70% of the people who have actually stuck past and didn't get stuck in that group 1. Okay, these are people that like, hey, they've been doing it for a while. They thought that maybe it is for them. It is something they want to do. They're something they're interested in. They're not stuck in that like the group 2 people that this is only something that they want to like signal to people that they're doing. They're actually taking the time to learn, and maybe they're doing it for 6 months, 1 year, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years. Okay, so these are the like almost there group people. Okay, and just like group 2, these people also get taken advantage of, I believe, by colleges and these extremely overpriced boot camps. All right, these people, they're less likely to like flex some kind of lifestyle, because instead of actually spending their time flexing like, hey, I'm the software developer, they're actually spending their time learning like they should be. However, they're still liable to pay $30,000 for like a boot camp or a college degree, thinking that it's going to help them get their first job, that it's going to help them alleviate some of the pain that is required to get that first job, because they're going to have some kind of piece of paper. Okay, so for these people, the truth is, like, nobody gives a damn about your boot camp. All right, I know people in my audience who've taken a boot camp. I know people in my audience who've just graduated from boot camp, and it's been like 6 months. They still haven't had a job. I check on them because I feel for them, and I feel bad that they spent the money doing that. But the truth is, guys, nobody gives a damn about your boot camp. Okay, there's people in this live chat that'll tell you that. What matters is you and your skills, and how you can sell and market your skills as a developer, as a programmer, as a software engineer, in order to get that first job. Okay. In fact, I would even say sometimes, depending on where the place is, some places might actually look down upon somebody that has a boot camp certificate, because sometimes some people, not everyone, sometimes people will just go and, hey, I spent $30,000, give me a job because I know how to code. Some people actually go to boot camp and they learn. And maybe they need the structure, and maybe they're actually competent enough to sit through and like understand stuff. And most likely those same people that did that probably also spent time outside of boot camp and outside of whatever else it is they were doing, learning how to build code, building code, and making things. Okay. But those people, they think that it's going to help them alleviate some of that pain. And I believe those people get taken advantage of too. And the truth is, like, nobody cares. They really just want you. They want people who can actually code. Okay. These same people, I think they follow underneath like the umbrella of like the imposter syndrome, like the lower end of the confidence spectrum. And like the truth is, like, if you're one of those people and you have that imposter syndrome and you don't have the confidence to do it, well, you need to spend time to develop your skills more until you feel confident. And the only way that you're going to do that is by literally learning and writing code. Lots of time banging your head on the keyboard, but eventually when you break past these like things that seem really dumb and hard to deal with on your computer, you break past that barrier and you make something work, or you write something that actually works really good, you're going to feel very good about yourself. You're going to get a nice dopamine rush, and you're going to think to yourself, I actually can do this. The more you do that, that's going to help alleviate that issue for those people. And there's the group 4 people too. And I'll just talk about group 4 as well, since we're already there. These are the persistent hard workers that they eventually push through and got the job. Okay, and these are the people from Group 3 that actually end up pushing forward. Because remember, Group 3 is what? That is the almost there group, right? There's people in this chat right now. That for people in the chat from our group that I know who've done. There's like 3 people in the chat right now that I know who've done that. And same thing goes for them. If you had that, those people, like when they were still part of like the third group, Group 3, the almost there people, they felt this imposter syndrome stuff. They felt unprepared. Listen, guys, you're always going to feel unprepared until you've been doing it for a while, and even then, probably the first like 1 or 2 years, up until the point that you get to where you realize nobody actually knows, nobody actually knows what they're doing and how the hell this works, and you actually realize that you accept it, and you're like, all right, if I want something done, I got to get it done my damn self, and then you actually start trying to do it your damn self. You go and fix things, you go and build things, and then you do that over and over again, you're going to feel a bit better. But until you get to that first job, and even after that, nobody's going to feel 100% prepared like on their first job or the first interview, okay? That's just how it is. That's the truth, okay? So another thing I would say to those people, and this is not for Group 4 because, Group 4, they already made it, right? But the people, the almost there group, the Group 3 people, like if you are feeling like that, you are feeling like maybe you're not as confident, you don't have the skill set yet, you're unprepared. My observation, especially with my guys in my group, you're most likely a lot more capable than you think of. I know that sounds like a nice thing to say, and it is a nice thing to say, but I'm not just saying it just to be nice. I mean that. Most people that are like that, they're a lot more capable than they can think of. And I have specific instances of people that I know that was the case, okay? So what's a solution for that? We can apply for all of them. Especially if you're in the Group 1, right? So you don't even know if it's a thing that you're ready to do yet, or you're in Group 2 or 3. Take 1/10 of what you would pay for a boot camp, or 1/100th of what you would pay for college, and take some high quality online courses. Obviously, developerdirection.com if that's something you're interested in. But hey, maybe you don't even have money for courses. Then take time to go and find some of the free resources online, because there's plenty. Okay, there is a lot, and go and utilize those. Okay, start out with the free resources, dip your feet into it, and see if you can see how much you can take away from that, right? Because you probably can get a lot further just from that stuff alone than you can before you even pay for a course or do something like go to a boot camp or join Developer Direction or anything like that, okay? And the most important thing out of either of those, or if you are using free things online, or you're going to a boot camp, or you're in college, or you taking online courses, whatever, out of all of those, even if you're doing every single one, the number one thing that you have to do to make this work and to become successful and actually get to that Group 4 type people, the people who actually made it, is you actually need to build some damn code, okay? It isn't just some kind of like glamorized thing. You're not just going to get like a high paying job that you can work remote if you can't code, okay? You just it's not going to happen, right? Especially when we have like chaos going on in the economy, and Orange Man, the Ice Cream Man are battling in the sky, and there's oil prices going up, blah blah blah. Like people aren't gonna want to hire like shitheads that they're gonna have to fire 6 months because they spent 6 months onboarding them. And by the way, the first pretty much any job, your first developer job, your first 6 months to a year, these people know that they're going to lose money on you, because they're going to have to spend that time investing into learning and teaching you, or having you learn and teaching you. And they're hoping that it actually works out. So sometimes you guys might even see like probationary periods for the first 6 months, a lot of these places. But all that being said, you got to build code. Okay. You're never going to get there unless you actually spend time building code. It's just a natural fact. I'm sorry if that is painful to you, but maybe if you do it, it might not be as painful as you think. And hey, maybe you might actually like to do it. You might realize that you have a lot more than you thought, or you have more. You have what it takes. You have more of what it takes than you believe that you did originally. And maybe you'll move a lot faster and smoother through the entirety. So just realize that if you have been working, okay, just keep moving forward, especially if you're in that almost there group. All right. That is the most painful part to be, is at the almost there group. Some people will spend a long time there, and maybe they'll spend 1, maybe even 2 years of their life thinking like, man, I literally am almost there, and it's been like 2 years, it's still not working for me. And then the next month it ends up working out because it didn't quit. Okay. Sounds cheesy, but hey, a lot of things that are cheesy are life. A lot of these like cheesy sayings, like they're true. I know you guys know that too. Chances are you're probably a lot closer to the finish line you think. So that being said, I did tell you guys, like, I've seen this firsthand from like out of the 125 people that I've had or have currently in my group. Some notable people that I can think of who are literally in this chat right now. 3 people that were in that number 3 category, the almost there category, was one of them, Kyle, right here. Okay. It took him quite some time, and he literally pulled through. He pulled through. He didn't take no for an answer. It was painful for a bit. Kyle, you did it in under a year, and that was pretty good. That's actually very good. I think you did it in under 6 months, actually. Now you're on to getting literally a better job. Same thing with Self-Taught Hustle over here, Fido. Yeah, I know that was painful for him. You guys can probably go on his channel and watch some videos of him talking about that. And like, if he will tell you at the moment that he almost gave up, it ended up working out for him. Willing to bet that, I won't speak for him, willing to bet that he'll tell you if he would have quit, he would not be where he is right now, and he's glad that he didn't. And also, this guy right here, Aurelian moved a lot slower than he was supposed to. Aurelian, guys, was fully capable of being like a level 2 software engineer, like 6 months into learning how to code. He didn't believe me when I told him that, but I did. And he was one of those people that he had like the imposter syndrome because he was a kid. He still is a kid. No offense, really, and you're a kid. And finally, when we put some heat under him, like, dude, you gotta hurry this up. There's no excuse for you to be taking so long getting this job. Put a little heat underneath him, and he did it. But the thing that all 3 of those people had in common the entire time, number 1, they didn't give up. 2, they continued to learn, and they kept building. They didn't get discouraged, and they just kept moving forward. I know, crazy, right? Go figure that most things in life that you want to achieve or get require some hard work and some tenacity. Because quite frankly, guys, as someone who is a distinguished man of character and color in all different areas of life, I've done a lot of things. I'm very proud of a lot of things that I've done, and I can tell you 9 out of 10 times, like, none of that stuff was handed to me. It was all from things that I had to try very hard to do, and I just didn't give up. I'm not the kind of person to quit. So you apply that to anything, not just coding, it's going to work out. It's easier when you delete System 32. What up, Antonio? Good to see you. Ruthless Viking. Gym mentality. Exactly, man. Exactly. Apply to every aspect of your life, and the sky will be the limit. If you are in tune with what you're doing, repetition is the base of any work you do. Mix it in with creativity and shoo. Yeah, dude. Real talk. My old bodybuilding coach, one thing he used to always tell me is like, once this is done, if you go and apply the same like work ethic that you put forward with bodybuilding to anything, it's to be impossible for you to not be successful at it. And he was right. Michael James in the house is free coding camp, Udemy, etc. Yeah, there's plenty of free resources out there too. Cody Moose, this is a good comment, dude. Just be too stupid to quit, bro. I should pin this. I'm gonna favorite that comment. Just be too stupid to quit. Exactly. Literally be too stupid to quit. Literally. Most likely, even if you're less intelligent and you're just too stupid to quit, compared to the people that are like, I'm out, it's gonna work out. Kind of like, the 8 bazillion times that Bitcoin went to zero, it's dead. And people are just like, no, I'm keeping it. Too stupid to quit. Where did they end up a couple years later? Looked like a genius, right? Gerard says, just do the work. Amen, my friend. Amen. So if you are one of those people, I hope that advice helped you guys tonight. I hope they gave you a sense of I wouldn't say comfort because you probably don't want you to feel comfort because especially if you need to do the work, but at least there is a light in the tunnel and there's things that you can do and you're not the only person, okay? Who you're not the only person who's like, oh man, I can't do it. I spent so much time, I can't do it. You're not the only person, okay? Sorry, you're not actually special. The thing you're experiencing right now is most likely very similar to what 90+% of people who started this journey also experience. So that is it, guys. As always, learn to code, learn to change your own tire, self-custody your crypto. Link in the description box below for all of the above, except changing the tire. I am out. I will see you guys later. And you guys have a good 4th of July. I'm debating whether or not I'm going to stream or not on Monday. I have something mysterious planned for Monday for myself. I don't know if you guys might not know until like a month or two later, but it's pretty big. So I don't know if I'll stream or not. But if I do, I will see you guys